Park, otherwise known as Motorsports International Raceway. We are in Bowmanville, Ontario, Canada. Second race of our doubleheader tonight as we welcome in the NORA Truck Series and their race to the chase as we continue on at the Canadian Tire Motorsports Park. The second round of the NORA chase for the championship here at Canadian Tire Motorsports Park. Bowmanville, Ontario, Canada. I am the captain. We welcome you back. Apparently I did a good job in the first race, so they brought me back for a second race. So we're ready to have some fun with these guys from NORA and getting ready for what is a pretty close to a NASCAR type of setup when it comes to this series. We're going to have, obviously, chase drivers. We're going to have stage racing. We're going to have strategies. We're going to have a lot of fun here coming up in the series. Now, one thing that is a part of the series is the way they actually set up the starting lineup. Well, how do they do it, you might ask, Captain, right? Well, they do it just like NASCAR. They actually have a random draw that they do that sets the starting lineup for the race. And here it is, right here in front of you. If I hit this button, it'll be right in front of you, I promise. There it is. Dustin Kleba will start on the pole tonight alongside the one driver that is advanced into the second round of the playoffs. That is Cody Reeder. Josh Kahn over Brian Jones. Row number 2, Christopher Heights and Alex Cummings. Row number 3, row 4, Joe Stats and Jeffrey Mayers. Those O's you see on the names, those are drivers that are not a part of the playoffs. Row number 5, Brady Moses and Todd Schneider, Corey Wharton, Corey Pennington, and Chad Engel. That will be your 13th drivers here for this NORA race at the Canadian Tire Motorsports Park. Should be 64 laps of racing as these guys go around the track right now. And with the 64 laps, there will be stages of 15 and 30 this evening. As they come up to Moss Corner, a very interesting one that we'll talk about here in a few minutes when they go through it under the green flag. But I want to show you guys the chase grid and where we sit right now. And after race number 1 at the Gateway Motorsports Park a few weeks ago, Cody Reeder is advanced into the second round. Josh Kahn has a 23-point advantage over Brian Jones, Dustin Kleba, Alex Cummings, Martin Pluty, and Christopher Heights, and Nick Galis. That is your top 8 in points. A few of those drivers not here tonight. So that could open up the door for Blade Simmons and Jason Conover, who I don't think are either here tonight. So we will see. Basically, it looks like guys in the top 6 or 7 gain points when this thing is all said and done. So that is where we sit right now in the playoff grid. All right. Just got done with a Truck Series race at Kentucky, and now we're going to get some truck racing here at Canadian Tire Motorsports Park, a track that is owned by former NASCAR and sports car driver Ron Fellows. And it is brought back to life in the last few years. Good to see. A packed house tonight as they come off the final corner, and the green flag will be waving. And here we go, racing at Mosport. Through turn 1 into turn 2, a very blinding left-handed corner, almost a double apex here. And you have a switchback here as you come up to the right-hander turn 3. See the 98 already looking low. Conover thought about a move. He was fastest into practice. A sweeping corner here. And then what's going to be a sweeping left-handed corner into Moss Corner, which is a double apex corner. Watch this if you've never seen a race here at Mosport. From one right-handed corner, and you're still on the brakes. One hops the curve and into this corner. And the slowest part of the track onto the Andretti Straightaway, which is a very long, curvy straightaway, all the way up to the last 3 corners of the track. As Conover trying to get by Reeder for second. Brian Jones there in the 4th position, back there in Alex Cummings. Sorry for the quiet pause there real quickly. I actually had a quick moment to say goodnight to my daughter real quickly, who was the age of 2. So I wanted to make sure I said goodnight, as I always do. There's Reeder in the 3rd position. Conover did get by him. Brian Jones starting to put pressure on. But like I said, this first stage, 15 laps. As they get into a rhythm where one truck's off the track back there. I think that's Schneider. Oh, and we have a U-Haul off track. And Todd able to get it going. I'm sure he's not the happiest camper in the world, but he keeps on fighting onto the track. So, like I said, the key in this race, you want to keep it as much as you can down on this asphalt. If you can do that, you're going to be set to have a good race this evening. Back here to 6th position, Corey Wharton in the Valvoline Chevrolet has already made up 5 spots in this race, and he's up into 6th position right now in the 88, working on the body armor Ford of Alex Cummings. Jason Clark joining us from his hometown country. Hear how patient you got to be rolling to the throttle. Down a gear into the right-hander, turn 3. No in-game. Oh, did I forget turn sound on? My bad. Oops, I did it again. Down to 2nd gear in the Moss corner, 5 and 5A. Again, double apex corner down to 1st gear likely here. He's got to be patient, rolling back into the throttle up the Andretti Straightaway. 4th gear up to about 170 miles an hour. To a very sweeping and blinding corner here, right-hander, and then a left and a right. This track hosts a lot of fantastic finishes in the truck series. Unfortunately, we haven't been able to go back here for the last couple of seasons in real life, but this track has been one to produce exciting finishes. Ask Chase Elliott and Ty Dillon. Ask John Hunter Nemechek and Cole Custer, just to name a few. It is Motorsport. Conover about a second back right now from Cleva, who has a pretty solid lead. This is about our closest battles right here. We're seeing on the track with Cummings and Jones and Wharton right there. Joey Stats starting to fill up the picture himself. See the heavy damage already on the 45, so somebody ran him over accidentally. Looking pretty good in that 16 truck so far here, but still plenty of laps, obviously, in this race. Conover still about 1.1 back. You see Reeder turning her sideways back there, so I see a lot of talented drivers in this series. Of course, this is our 2nd race ever covering them. So I'm still kind of new to him a little bit. Been talking a lot with Josh Kahn, who apparently liked my broadcast the first time around and brought me back for a 2nd time. And we appreciate them being a part of it. But the news here, we're going to cover every race, actually, for the rest of this playoff season. So looking forward to being a part of this race coming up here tonight. And, of course, Bristol next week. And so on and so forth. So waiting on a mistake, basically, is what these guys are doing. Is they're just out here running a pace. The top 6 right there. Wharton to chase down Cummings. These guys are about 6 seconds back, but they're also 6 seconds up on the next car. And that's back here, the 15 truck, the Dilly Dilly Mobile, as I'm going to call it. The Bud Light truck, number 15, Brady Moats. Kind of like the old Bud Light truck I used to drive with the number 15 on her. Joey Stats in that Rockstar Energy drink, number 23. Just like you guys, I'm going to get to know the drivers, and I think I just saw a picture of Joe Biden on the back of his truck. President Biden, that is. Yeah, that's definitely him. Coy Pennington in a black number 2. There's Chad Engel, the Pony Express diecast number 10 with the Evernham number. I like that. Looking paint scheme there. Jeffrey Mayer's having some blinking issues, but there's Denos Energy number 38. Christopher Heights in the 55 truck, the Natty Lightmobile. And then, of course, you saw the U-Haul truck in the 86. Go for a whoopsies earlier as we're 5 laps in. So that's your field of 13 trucks. As Mark Cusano's really fresh off his race a few minutes ago. Mark was having a pretty good run. Had a couple of mistakes on his part. Reeder got back past Conover, and I think Conover had an issue a second ago. Let's see what happened to the 98 truck. Oh, Moss Corner bit him. He got over the curve there on a right-hander and caught some of that grass, and it spun him out. Unfortunate deal there for the 98, but he continues on. As we go back live, you see Conover kind of falling into the clutches of Brian Jones as Coy Pennington. I said Chad Pennington. What is this, an NFL game? Looks like Coy's taking his truck behind the wall potentially. Check out the weather here in Canada. 67 degrees under cloudy skies, track temp at 80. Humidity at about 57%. Wind from the west at 8. So the draft playing a pretty big role down that straightaway, the Andretti Straight we know it as. So if you're just joining us, welcome into Captain Esports Network. Of course, on for a second time this evening. Just got done covering the TI Truck Series race from the Kentucky Speedway. Now the NORA Truck Series here at the Canadian Tire Motorsports Park, otherwise known as Motorsports. And we're watching this fight right here for the 4th position. Alex Cummings battling with Brian Jones, the 41 and 45, 4th position. Covered their race a couple weeks ago at Gateway. They come back tonight with their second race of the playoffs, and you can see one of their races yet on another channel or here on the Captain Esports Network. You'll know that the drivers with the red top and the red spoiler, those guys are in the playoffs still. The ones who have the plain white top of their truck, like Corey Wharton back there in the 88, those guys are not in the playoffs as we speak, and they run full distance truck races. So 64 laps here tonight, 250 miles. Kilometers, I think actually it would be. And we are already 8 laps in. They will have a stage caution at lap 15. And then another stage caution is, hold on there, as Brian Jones about lost her. The inside line, number 45 truck, takes the inside line to turn 1 and loses P4 to the 41. But stages at 15 and 30 this evening. as Conover starts to bring in Reeder again up here in the top two. Reeder gets a little wide there off Moss corner, and that's going to, oh, and you see the 45 slides wide. Wharton goes by back here for fifth. It was Jones, I'm sorry. See the 98 inch trucks are sliding around already. This tire's getting pretty worn out. Of course, the Real Truck Series, they did not run a Canadian Tire race the last two seasons. They actually went to Watkins Glen this season, and last season it was the Daytona road course that they ran the sub for this track. Mark, I know a few people that used to do it. I mean, I've been a part of a couple full distance truck series races. As Joey Stat's on pit road here, and he's got a pretty damaged up number 23. Not sure if he's there just to get damaged or if he towed or what, but unfortunately there for the 23 of Stats. So he and Boy Pennington right now in trouble. Conover's got it down to 4/10, down to 3/10 as he works the draft here. Reeder, the Gateway winner, fighting that truck. 98 approaching him, trying to make this move as we have a slew of Fords up here in the top of the grid right now. Matter of fact, I'm counting 4 Fords in the top 4. Right now. Yeah, it looks like Jeffrey Mayer is pitted. Looks like he's having some blinking issues or so on and so forth, so he's gone behind the wall now. So already 3 trucks out of this race, it looks like. Top 6 trucks, though, all within, or top 5 trucks, all within 6.2 seconds of each other here. Now they're back for second. Let's see if Conover's going to use the 10 as a pick. Oh, the 21's going to slide it wide. And there goes Corey Wharton with him. Oh, and he's into the wall hard. So the 88 goes off course. The 41's trying to pass the 21. 21's all types of loose. There's some contact. 10's off course. And he's going to spin into the wall. Yikes. So Conover's gone back to second after all that argy-bargy, as Calvin Fish would say. As we are 4 laps away from the end of stage 1. Now Cody Reeder under attack for the 3rd position. Up the Andretti Straightaway, let's see top speed. About 160 miles an hour out of Josh Kahn over there in the turn 2, or in the turn 9 section. guys are sliding everywhere right now. Putting all types of pressure on his 21. So just doing some reviewing on the season. Obviously, they have run the this off my way. They have run the full truck season so far. This is race number 17 tonight. You see the 21 getting loose again down in the Moss corner. Most wins so far in the season is Josh Kahn over, looking for win number 5 this season. Dakota Reeder has 2 wins on this season, and I'm assuming Dakota Reeder is actually Cody Reeder. Makes sense to me. Brian Jones with 1 win, 5 wins for Dustin Kleba, and Alex Cummings with 2. Those are all the winners so far this season, the top 5 in points pretty much. Assortment of drivers in this series. So this battle is settled down now for this 3rd position. Their 2nd place, Josh Kahn over. I mentioned he and Kleba have won the most races this season. I thought Conover would maybe catch up with Kleba potentially before the end of the stage, but it looks like that's not happening. But we do have the 15 truck on pit road of Brady Moats, and I'm not sure if he's taking his truck behind the wall. It looks like he has. So another truck off the track and out of the race. So we are down as this field is shrinking really quickly to 9 trucks left on track, I believe. Kleba crosses the line, 14 laps. You can see how sideways that truck's in yaw the whole entire corner of turn 1. And it looks like Chad Engel is on pit road now in the 10 truck. Was involved in an incident a few minutes ago off turn 1. Kleba is just so solid on the wheel. I mean, that's what it's got. That's what it takes. Just being consistent, being out there running laps, and that's how you get better at road racing. He's doing a great job up to 3rd gear. About in the 4th gear by now. And on the brakes down to 3rd, down to 2nd gear in his turn 9 section. I'm speaking like I'm a road racer ace. I am not that good at it, to be honest with you. Comes out of the final corner. This will be stage number 1. We'll go to Kleba in the 16. As Conover will come by and finish 2nd. And a battle on for 3rd here as Cummings tries to get by Reeder, not able to do so. Reeder will get 3rd. And if they do it like NASCAR, then there will be a caution probably when the 8th place truck crosses the line in this case. As Jones, here comes Wharton, who somehow does not have more damage than he does after face planting the wall over in the turn 9 section. And Christopher Heitz now working his way into the final couple corners. straightaway here. I think they're waiting on this car here to cross the line. This will be the 8th place finisher. And the caution should be out, I would think. Unless there's something different that I don't know about road courses. Nothing would surprise me. The turn 2 section. I assume they're staying green. All right, no problem. Fortunately, I didn't get to talk to Josh much before the race and stuff, so I didn't get much information, so I'm kind of learning on the fly here as we go. But this is Dustin Kleba right now. He's about a second or so off the pace after he, of course, has run 16 laps on tires. Dustin might be saving a little fuel there down the straightaway. I couldn't help but notice the bogging of the RPMs at times. It's kind of interesting to hear. Dustin doing a good job, 24.5 that time by. Check on Josh back here, 7.2 seconds back and out of control into the inside wall. Right on board with him as that happened. He's having all kinds of issues. Alex Cumming did get past Colby Reeder a few minutes ago. Let's actually go back and see the pass real quick. And a 21 once again slides wide at Moss Corner. That corner will bite you all day long. Unfortunately, it got Reeder there and allowed Alex to get by for position. Alex up in the 3rd position right now. The body armor Ford doing a pretty good job of keeping that truck as clean as possible. A little bit of maybe some nose damage there. It looks like there's a little crinkle up there where the hood meets the bumper. Not sure, but he's definitely making a run here on Conover, who is potentially burned off his tires a little bit here. So 10 seconds back. Appreciate everybody tuning in tonight. It was kind of a last-minute mention that I pretty much sent the stream out at like 7 o'clock this evening as Josh and I talked about it throughout the weekend and stuff, and made it official today. So you'll see the rest of the chase races here on the Captain Esports Network every Monday night. You know, it's not the only series actually racing right now that the Captain Esports Network will be covering, as the Short Track Super League has gotten back going on the dirt tonight. And Stefan is actually going to be sending me that file throughout the season here, and we are going to rebroadcast that race sometime later in the week. We're going to work it out with the league and figure out a time, and now the caution is out. So caution out here, lap number 19 going into lap 20. Dustin Kleba has led all the 19 laps so far in this race. As we get the end of stage 1 here. So pit road will open up, and we should see Schneider get the lucky dog probably here and go back on the lead lap in the U-Haul truck. Here we go. Leaders gonna all come to pit road here, and they will have to make one more stop here before the end of the race. So the 55 has actually stayed out. I believe. No, Heights came to pit road. Sorry, that was just another truck getting on track here. You see tires and fuel going on every truck, and you see the little bit of a weirdness here about this pit road is the downhill going to turn 1. And easily the 16 going to be the winner off pit road. All right, I'm going to step away for a quick second. I'm not going to commercial or anything like that. Just going to keep the stream up and running, but just going to take myself a little break here as we're at lap number 20 of this NORA Truck Series race here at the Canadian Tire Motorsports Park. I am going to actually stretch my back out. It's been kind of bothering me here the last couple days. So we'll be back here, and actually I'll be back. We'll keep you here for the restart here in just a moment. We should get one to go this time by. You see a wave around to Mayers, I believe that is in the 38. Must have got his connection issue fixed. Now there is, I'm not sure, I know in this league they use the choose cone. And I believe we're seeing it come into play right here, because you see Cummings went to the bottom with the leader. So that is going to give Josh Kahn over the outside lane going to turn 1. So this is one of the rare series in iRacing that uses the choose cone that NASCAR uses. Again, on the original Truck Series schedule, they had Motorsports scheduled for Labor Day weekend, as it has usually been for the few years they raced there, but due to the COVID protocols and stuff, they haven't been able to go back up there for the last couple of years, unfortunate, because they've had obviously some really fun races. We'll see what 2022 looks like, and maybe they'll be back up there again for another race. I know they enjoy going to this track, so. Through the 3 corners, and we'll get the green flag again. Kleba leads, and Conover will be in the outside lane. The second place truck is actually going to be restarting third, and that's Cummings, but he chose the bottom with the choose cone here as they come off the final corner, and a green flag will come out, and we will go back racing here at Mosport Canadian Tire Motorsports Park in stage 2. Racing so far as Kleba tries to hold off. Conover has been just as fast. Battle on for third as Brian Jones looking underneath the 41 for position as they head up the Moss corner. This ought to be interesting. And they get back single files. They'll work their way up the Andretti Straightaway. You see Reeder all the way back to the 6th position now after his issues getting that truck fixed up, and he can keep on the track now the rest of this race. Over within about 3/10 right now of the leader, but Kleba's been the guy to beat so far. Wow, gets a little loose off the corner. Here comes Conover putting some pressure on. Cummings and Brian Jones and Corey Wharton. Conover. This battle continues right here for the lead. He showed early in the run he was faster, but unfortunately that truck fell off way late in the run of that first stage. Sawing on that wheel right now. You see top right corner, he runs the fastest lap of the race, so that just shows you what kind of speed he's got, especially in this draft. I'm sure that helped a little bit, but roughly 3/100 faster. There's a good run off turn 2. Let's see if he makes the run into 3. Door gets shut, and there, yeah, that would not have been a smart move probably. You see these guys fighting loose on entry. Truck's just sliding around. Very slick track. Schneider, you saw Cummings get a little bit loose as Brian Jones putting pressure on him. This is within 0.6 of a second right now. As Cleve all of a sudden puts a 28 up there on the board. Says, I'll see your fast lap and I'll raise you one. Putting the pressure on the 16, just continues to do so. So great racing all over this place right now. And issues for Brian Jones, and it looks like he went spitteroo over at Moss. He just pushes it way too wide out into the kitty litter. Does a great job of getting her back on track, but is going to lose at least one spot. Looks like he's going to lose 2 spots. Cody Reeder goes by also into 21, so that's where we're live. So now Wharton some 4.6 seconds up. Yeah, I've gotten to know Josh a little bit here. I know one driver so far in this field that I've actually raced with, and that is Corey Wharton. He actually, back when my father and I created USRC, actually Corey was one of our original drivers. He raced with us and had his good luck and his bad luck. Got along with some people, didn't get along with some people, but it's good to see him out here running with this series, running in the 4th position right now. Same old number 88. As I've said before, I'm all about helping people and helping series out and stuff, and I want to see a series like this succeed. Conover looking to the inside there, trying to get a run. He's all over the back bumper of the 16. Problem is, I'm sure that, well, the harder they race, the more the tires are going to get scrubbed up. So as this battle continues, let's jump back here. Brian Jones trying to put pressure on Cody Reeder also for the 5th position. Cleveland's been able to stretch the lead out 0.7 of a second now over Conover, so we'll keep an eye on this battle here now. That's getting closer, down to 0.2 of a second. You're up the straightaway. Two drivers that have made their share of mistakes this evening, but they're out here still fighting it out. Oh, Cody sliding wide, able to save it, but still going to lose that spot to Jones. We'll move Brian up to the 5th position right now. We continue to watch this fight here. second and third. So not only do they, the NORA guys have a driver standings, but they also have a, believe it or not, a manufacturer's championship, or a team championship, I should say, which is a pretty cool deal to see. And we're going to share that with you here really quickly. And they have a chase format for them also, which I think is really cool. So let's, I'm going to bring it up here on the screen really quickly. This is the way the playoffs work for the owners of the series. Of course, 21 won last week, so the KPR Motorsports team moves on into the second round. Of course, Flatline Motorsports, the 98 truck, KPR, the 16. As you see the battle for the lead, let me move this off the screen. And a battle between the two other top trucks in the points. '98's going to have the position going into the corner here. Let's see if we get a crossover or if the 16 can hold, because there is a left-hander coming up here. And if he can hold on the quarter panel there, he'll have the run into the corner. Not going to happen. Josh Kahn over to the lead. Just shy of halfway. As I was saying, there's your points. Of course, the 16 to 45 to 88, all these teams, of course, per their driver, basically gets their own championship form setting. And yes, there's a manufacturer's championship too. And after Worldwide Technology Raceway, Ford with a 123-point lead. They've won 14 of 16 races in this series. Chevy with 2 and Toyota with 0 wins, unfortunately, this season. So, as I said, this series is doing everything they can to emulate the NASCAR series, which I think is really cool. I've been a big fan of realism. That's just kind of how I am. You know, that's why I like to use the cameras I use with Track Cams 4 Gourmet, who, by the way, got our road cameras here tonight. So big shout out to Track Cams 4 Gourmet for allowing us to have these road cameras out here on the track tonight. Similar to what you'd see if you were watching a road race here at Canadian Tire. If you're watching like an IMSA Series race here at CTMP or whatever you like to watch. This is pretty close to the real thing you would get. The 98 leads as we are at the halfway point this time by. He started back in the third position, as I mentioned, and got by Cleva just a few minutes ago. Now, Alex Cummings has not let these two leaders go as they continue to battle. The 41 has been running laps about 0.6 faster than the lead two, so they might have burnt their stuff up, and here comes the 41 looking pretty good. I have ourselves a little 3-horse race here. The fourth gear over the hill there on the Andretti Straightaway. Isn't so straight. He's definitely making up time. You can see him getting to the back bumper of Kleba here, only about a second apart. That time by another 10th faster than both of them. It's all about being smooth. I'm not the smoothest on the wheel of a road course, but you can listen to some of these guys and just how smooth they are. And even how the slower they go, the faster they are. Look at that run there through Moss Corner. You know, I say that because I'm going to talk about these next two corners here. I want you to listen how Cummings gets through the corner, because I noticed this the last lap. I want to see if he does it again. So did anybody notice how much throttle he used in those three corners right there? Barely any. And that's something that I'm taking from this, because like I remember when I've run here before, I'd go through that right-hander and I would hit the gas coming up to the left-hander and hit the gas again to the right-hander. And I mean, he just kind of just kept it into a rhythm, just kind of maybe trail braked it a little bit through the corner and was able to carry the speed through those that section of three corners. And sometimes going slower is going faster. Kleba has not allowed Conover to get away here, and this battle for the lead continues. Oh, 98 gets loose. Here comes Kleba. Little contact, little door bang. He's got it. Kleba to the front. Josh isn't going to give up that easy, neither is Dustin, and here comes Alex. We're going to have a three-truck battle here for the lead as Kleba gets to a tank slapper. Josh had to check up for running him over, and that really brings Cummings into the picture. Now 3 trucks under a blanket for the lead at Canadian Tire. Conover slides it wide. Here comes Cummings. And he gets by him as Conover almost saves, and he does save it. So move the 41 up to second after the 98 gets loose. So just like in that first run, it looks like the 98 good on tires until they just fall off the map on them. Check back here. Brian Jones is starting to put some pressure on Corey Wharton now. This is for the 4th position. Corey goes way off and misses the corner here, turn 9, it looks like. Somehow. Oh, no, he missed it. Oh, no, maybe not. And that's going to give up the position to Brian Jones. Here comes Cody Reeder to his inside. And now the 55. Whoa, Heights almost lost it. And here he comes. So something must be wrong with the 88 or something. Let's jump back up here to the front. Cummings got it within a second right now of Kleba. It's all about the wheel spin, probably short shifting a lot to keep the wheel spin from happening. But we're seeing a lot of mistakes and a lot of cars getting loose, or trucks getting loose out here on this track. If the schedule looks correct, then next week we will be at the Bristol Motor Speedway for this series next Monday night, 200 laps around the world's fastest half mile. Should be a fun race as Conover is on pit road now. So I'm not sure if this is a tire strategy to maybe gain some track position before the end of the stage. And he leaves pit road 17.4, so kind of a slow stop for the 98. We'll see how hard he races here these 2 laps, knowing that if this stage ends at lap 40, like I'm thinking it might, so I noticed that the first stage ended at lap 20, then he will take the lead when these trucks come to pit road. So I'm going to be very intrigued to see if that's the case here. Now I believe according to the website it said 15 and 30, but things change sometimes, so I just work with what I got. We made it past the halfway point. Let's take a look at our race summary. Kleba leads this thing. We had the 1 caution for, of course, the stage break. Kleba with the fastest lap of 23 flat. As 13 trucks started this race, we're down to 9 right now on the track. There's Josh back on track, as I mentioned, over here in the front stretch area. And it just shows you can obviously pit for a while before you lose a lap, because you see the leaders are just getting onto the Andretti Straightaway. So that's part of the strategy here that I think the 98 is pulling here. Look at that 41 right there behind him, just running smooth laps each and every time. Running laps comparable. And Corey Wharton with more issues as Cody Reeder's gone by, and Wharton's off the pace. Not sure what's happened to the 88, but here comes Conover's going to go by him. Is he out of gas maybe or something? He seems to be going back up to speed now, so I don't know what's going on. .2 seconds, Kleba over Cummings. Brian Jones about 19 seconds back. Christopher Heights up to the 4th position now. He is 23 seconds back. Cody Reeder in 5th. Josh Kahn over 6th. And there's the caution in the end of stage 2, as I expected. It will go to Dustin Kleba. He will sweep both stages. And I think the leader will now be this guy once they catch the pace car. But the question is, how will 2 laps of tires affect Kleba has caught the pace car. He'll come to pit road, and we'll actually talk to him here in a second if he's in Discord. Let me go look before I promise anything I can't promise. He is in here, so we'll talk to him here in just a second. All right, so we'll come into these final 3 corners, and we'll come to pit road. 24 laps to go. They should be okay to make it on fuel. This should be the only stop they'll need the rest of this race. Obviously, take out some issues. And here come the leaders to pit road. Left side tires going up on these trucks. And there they go. So, yep, Kleba will win the race off pit road. And as predicted, Josh Kahn will stay out and take the lead as he pitted there with 2 to go, which is perfectly legal in the series. But I want to talk to the stage winners from both of the stages this evening. And that is Dustin Kleba, and I hope I'm saying his name right to start with. So that's going to be the first question I have this evening for Dustin is, first off, am I saying your last name right? Is it Kleba?
Yeah, got it.
Look at there. Unbelievable. That was bad. I'm sorry. Anyways, it's been a long Monday. It's been a great Monday for you so far, though. You've led nearly every lap tonight, had a good battle with Josh. You got Mr. Cummings there behind you battling pretty hard, looking to get up there and battle you for the win. But how are you feeling tonight so far?
Very uneasy. I wish the rest of the night would go like the first stage. We kind of had a good stage there. It was nice and smooth, but yeah, Josh definitely has speed, but he's kind of on a different pit strategy now, so we'll see if those 2 or 3 extra laps of on his tires, see if that does anything. Alex, he did the same thing at Watkins Glen. He's a sneaky son of a gun on the long runs. I looked down once and he was about 8 seconds back, and then I look up again and he was about a half a second back. So he's super good on the long run, and with this being one of the longest runs in the race, he'll definitely be one to contend with. So very uneasy is the short answer.
Fair enough. That's a fair way of putting it. Now, the track looks like it's all kinds of slick out there, and I don't know if that's with the new tire model and stuff that I don't know if that's on the stock cars or not. I know the Indy cars had a lot about it, but it just seems like you guys are sliding everywhere.
Yeah, absolutely. I know Josh said too, he's like, this is the first 78-degree track that feels like it's 178 degrees. So I got the egg under the gas pedal to make sure that we don't break it, and it's just all about throttle control. But I really think that's what separates the men from the boys is good throttle control and trying to save your rubber for the end.
Well, you're looking good in that 16 truck so far, and I hear rumors it's a hard-boiled egg that's underneath that throttle. But needless to say,
don't give away my secrets.
But great job tonight, man, and maybe we'll talk to you in victory lane in that 16 truck.
All right, sounds good. Thanks.
Yes, sir. Dustin Kleba, going to be the second-place truck as he comes back to the restart here. Once they learn how to get these channels right. Give me a second. I'll get you in the right channel.
It's all good. I could talk to you the rest of the race.
I'm cool with the KPR, right?
Yep.
Nice. Have a sidekick in the booth. I like it. Kleba up there in the second position, as I mentioned. He'll start to the outside with the choose cone. And Conover will be the leader going to turn 1. Cummings will be third. Cody Reeder fourth. And Brian Jones will be your top 5. I'm sorry in advance for the bad pun. That was terrible. Unbelievable. My wife showed me this, like, pun guys thing on Facebook, and I couldn't help but shake my head the whole time because I'm one that is full of puns. And that was, yeah. Unacceptable. Here we go. So stage 3 going to be about 22 laps long. I believe everybody is good to go on fuel. Good to go on tires the rest of the way here. Question is, can Conover with 2-lap older tires hold off Kleva, who has been maybe the more consistent truck, we'll say it. And then there's the 41, who's the sleeper, we'll call him, back there in third, of Alex Cummings. Or will something Canadian Tire happen and we end up with somebody else winning? There we go, off the final corner, coming to the green flag. And Conover's on it. Turn 1 down to turn 2, sweeping corner, left-hander is Brian Jones going to move up to the position number 4. Reeder going to be 5th with Wharton there in 6th. Different approaches into this corner. Jones got to the inside of the 41 there off the corner, not able to complete the pass as they had the Moss. Gotta be careful here not to run somebody over. As Wharton drives it to the inside of Reeder to the left there. And they'll drag race up the straightaway. Will finally clear him here, but they both slide the corner a little bit. 21 crosses back over to the outside here. See if he can get the run in the corner. He does. Nice crossover move and just very hard racing there between those two. Meanwhile, Conover continuing to lead here. Got about 2/10 over Kleba, and then Cummings about a second back. We're doing a great job. Now, the one thing I will say that has hurt him so far tonight has been the long run. And this is, as Dustin mentioned in the interview, the longest run these guys will see all evening. Heights back here in the 6th position, was doing a good job up in the top 4 a second ago. And we didn't get to see it, but I think there was more issues for Corey Wharton. Let's go back and, I think it happened over here in Moss Corner. You see him off the pace again. I'm not sure if he's having some kind of an issue with something, maybe computer-wise, or not sure. But unfortunate deal's there for him. Top 5 all within about 2.5 seconds. As Wharton unscheduled pit stop, lap 44. Just enjoying this. Great road racing here with the stages and stuff. It's really put the competition together here, and that's where we get in this great fight. Is Kleba going to get a run here off Moss? See if he can get him down the straightaway in the draft. Doing a great job so far. So we watch the 55 going through. Looks like the turn 3 section here is starting to give him a shout out before the issues happen with Corey, but Chris doing a great job. He's running up in the top 5 just a little bit ago. Right now in the 6th position, some 8 seconds back. Meanwhile, you see Reeder starting to fall off the front 4 as these guys fight it out. All 4 Fords up here in the front. Kleba looking to the left there, not able to make the move. Laps to go as Wharton's still on pit road, so looks like his night might be over. So fight up here in the front getting tighter and tighter and tighter now. I mean, if you're Conover, you just run your line here, make them pass you. As you see Cummings maybe looking to the high side of Kleba, not able to do so. You know, Conover's driving his tail off, but that just shows you the difference in 2-lap tires right now. I'm surprised the 98 is, or the 16, here he comes. I was about to say surprised with the draft, not able to make a move. Still not able to get one done. See if we can cross him over here. We'll switch back corners here. Let's talk about our schedule. Got a little modification coming up tomorrow, as we will not have a TI IndyCar Series race. It's been delayed a week to allow a setup to be built for the final race at Barber next week on Tuesday night. So instead, we'll just do the Tuesday night Lightspeed Racing League, LSRL, Xfinity Series presented by Grid Finder. They are at Bristol tomorrow night. And then Wednesday night, Great Lakes Truck Series. They are at the Homestead Miami Speedway virtually. And then Thursday we'll take our traditional day off. At least it's become traditional. The battle continues up here at the front. You're not missing anything anywhere else. So I'm one that likes to follow around other battles and stuff on the track, but this is the battle right here. All 4 of these trucks under a blanket trying to go for the win here at the Canadian Tire Motorsports Park. Oh, 41 getting loose. That might be his first mistake of the night right there. As Jones going to make a move inside now. And Alex sends it in there pretty deep into turn 1, makes the move. his last time by at 24.5. Using that curve to help turn this truck. You're starting to wonder if the top two maybe starting to pull away a little bit here. It's up to 1.1 seconds now, so. Starting to get back into a rhythm, it looks like here, as he will see 15 laps to go this time by. Anything can happen in this race. Matter of fact, look at there. Alex made up a pretty good amount of time, it looked like, those final 3 corners. How much you have to be so technical around these corners. I mean, it's not like going full throttle and just kind of holding it wide open like an Indy car or a road racing car. These cars, you're barely wide open at all. I mean, you're playing with the throttle, and as you heard Dustin say in the interview, it's you're keeping an egg underneath that throttle, trying to take care of her. I mean, it's probably the first time you hear Alex wide open for a little bit. So if this goes the way it could go, we are going to see likely another driver move into the second round with a win. The question is, who's it going to be? Our top 5 trucks, all playoff drivers. Make that top 6, I should say. All playoff drivers. Congratulations, Todd Schneider. You're the one non-playoff driver that's going to, I guess you win the Best of the Rest award tonight. But obviously, one driver will likely move on to the second round with a win here. Who will it be? Will it be Conover, can hold off Kleba maybe? Will it be Alex Cummings, who's now putting pressure on the 16? Or will somebody make a mistake and we have a surprise winner? Everybody really starting to spread themselves out from each other here, as the handling part really coming into play as the tires slide around. That High Point Ford F-150 leading another lap. Kleba's obviously led to most laps this evening, but Conover has been there most of the night. If he can run 13 clean laps, he might just pull the upset here. And the only reason I'm calling it his upset is because of the move he made on pit road to pit with three laps to go in stage 2, and was able to undercut the leader on the caution. And he's been able to hold the track position the whole time. About a second slower than his fastest lap. You see Kleba about 7/10 back right now. You wonder if he is maybe saving some tire a little bit for the long run of this race. You see these trucks getting so loose on entry. I mean, they're loose pretty much everywhere with the just slipping and sliding and stuff. You see, last time by those, all three of these trucks ran 40.4 second laps. So basically, Conover a 124.401, Cleva 124.497, and Cummings a 124.472. So all three of these trucks are running right on top of another time-wise. So it's not like one's pulling away from the other. They're all right here. Let's actually do this. We're going to take a lap. I'm going to be quiet for a second and let you guys ride and enjoy a lap around the Canadian Tire with Josh Kahn over here. There you go. You can just hear how he is fighting the wheel and not to mention trying to hold off a truck behind him for the lead. That's how slick this track is. And you really have one portion of the track I'm noticing that you're pretty much wide open at any moment. I mean, you may be a little bit right here, and otherwise you're hardly touching the throttle from this point all the way to Moss Corner. You're on the brakes. You're still on the brakes here. And then right here is about the time you have the rest. As look back here for second, Cummings putting pressure on Cleva. We're so close. Nine laps to go in what has been a pretty fun race. Hopefully you've enjoyed the show, and if you're new to the channel, hit the subscribe button, especially if you're a newcomer that watches races over here at NORA. You're going to see the rest of the playoff races here on the Captain Esports Network for the rest of the season. Starting to pull back away here. You wonder if he did save his tires just a little bit. And now trying to make a run back at Josh. It's like these three guys are playing a game of chess or something out here. Look at the 16 getting all kinds of sideways. Top three all on top of another here. Let's check back on the rest of the field here. Brian Jones running in the 4th position still. As I mentioned, I try not to focus on all leaders, especially in an oval race or something like that. I like to get everybody some time on the air and stuff and let them enjoy themselves racing when they go back and watch on the stream. There's Cody Reeder, the winner last week from Gateway Motorsports Park. He's already into the 2nd round of the playoffs, just trying to survive out here in the 5th position. Christopher Heights back here, the Natty Lights Silverado. He's been just kind of keeping her on track the whole time. 21 seconds back in the 6th position. And then the lone wolf of the non-chased members, Todd Schneider. The U-Haul truck, he had a little spinneroonie early in this race, but he has fought hard and still out here on track running every lap. How do you get better racing? You gotta run every lap. Simple as that. Todd 46 seconds back. And that U-Haul truck, a little bit of damage. Seven laps to go as these guys continue to fight. And look at this, Kleba all of a sudden back on the bumper of the 98. So whatever adjustment he made, if it was saving tires or what he was doing, he is here now. Even the 16 is going to try to make a move here. Can Cummings do anything with him? He's fallen back 2 seconds. So it might have just become a 2-truck race here. Look at this, 16 all over him to the right, looking, not able to do it. Crossover coming. Oh no, Conover protected. Nice move on both parts. Hard to believe with 2-stage yellows that we're seeing racing this close. This has been a great road race to watch here for NORA. Again, going to be home here on the Captain Esports Network every Monday night. Through the rest of their playoff season. Five laps to go. How loose Kleba gets all of a sudden there. and Kleba's all over him. One mistake is what Conover has to make, and Kleba makes the move, but credit to Conover, he has not made that mistake yet. And if he could do it for another 5 more laps, and they're all sideways and everything. Four to go, and don't look so hard, but Cummings is starting to make a comeback. It was 2 seconds. Now it's down to 1.1. It's almost like these guys have just gotten good at maybe backing off to save some tire, and then they make that move to try to go get them. Cody Reeder was able to get past Brian Jones. This was a couple laps ago. Let's show it. Right up the Moss straightaway, and Brian just lets him go. Smart move. I mean, better be safe. Just take the top 5 and get what you get. 3 laps to go. Coming up on the back of Todd Schneider. They'll likely catch him somewhere on the Moss straightaway probably, and he'll just likely move over, I would think. Or Moss straightaway, and Andretti straightaway, sorry. Getting a little late. Kleba working that draft down to 0.3 of a second. And these three are looking under a blanket time-wise here for, this whole entire third stage. They've all been running right on top of another time-wise. And you see the 86 moves over and actually is going to go to pit road to get out of everybody's way. Classy move there. 2 laps to go. Now that time behind Conover by 1/100th of a second over Kleba. Will we get a traditional Canadian Tire Motorsports Park finish? I brought it up earlier tonight. Chase Elliott, Ty Dillon in the first race here. And then you had John Hunter Nemechek and Cole Custer. Just to name a few. Exciting finishes in that final lap at the final corner. Will we see it tonight between Kleba and Conover? You know, their arms are probably tired as all get out. Kleba got in there pretty deep. Right here, that's the money spot next time by, as we will see the white flag wave. Final lap from Canadian Tire. Unbelievable what Josh Conover has been able to do. If you weren't here earlier, he pitted 2 laps before the end of stage 2 and was able to jump track position on Kleba, who has led most of this race. And this is how it's been the whole entire 3rd stage. And Conover's ran a perfect 22 laps here. Remember this part. This is where Kazgrala got turned as they both get loose there. And here comes Cummings into the picture now. But Kazgrala got turned over in that corner, if I remember correctly, in a race against, I cannot remember who it was. Oh, it was Austin Cindric. That's who it was. Down into the corner, Kleba sends it. 3 trucks going for it. Kleba got too wide. He's got one last chance. The strategy is going to hold off as Josh Conover, it takes the checkered flag and moves on to round 2. How about that? That was fun. Kleba will get 2nd. Obviously Cummings 3rd. Reeder, who's already in the 2nd round, he'll be 4th. And Brian Jones will take the top 5. In a fantastic series of events. Kleba made one mistake, it looked like there at the end, going into the final section of the right-hander. And that pretty much backed him up enough to allow Conover, who did not make a mistake that whole entire run, to get the win. What a great job. Guys settle down here for a second. I'm sure we'll get a celebration from the 98, and we'll talk to the drivers. In fact, real quickly, we'll get the results from the race. Conover, Kleba, Cummings, Reeder, Jones, your top 5. Heights finishes 6th, Schneider 7th, Wharton, Mayers, and Moats all off the track, but still get top 10 finishes. Engel, Statson, and Pennington, your last of the racers in tonight's 64-lapper that saw Conover almost steal a win, may I use that term, from the 16. And I only say it from the standpoint of pit strategy. Otherwise, I mean, all 3 of these guys earned this race. You're going to take a video or a photo real quickly of their trucks. We'll see if we get a burnout or something from the 98, but we'll go ahead and bring them up here to join us in the booth. And what was a fantastic race, Josh. Congratulations, man. I'm going to be honest, I didn't think that strategy was going to work, but you know, that's why I sit up here in the booth now after 9 years of iRacing and said, you know what, I'll let the guys that know what they're doing do it. And you went out and did it tonight, holding off Dustin what was a wild 22 or 3 laps.
Yeah, we were gonna, Alex and I, my team, were gonna try that at the end of stage 1, and then we looked like, we're a lap too late. You know, pits are gonna be closed, and we wouldn't be able to get it. And I knew I wasn't gonna catch him at the end of stage 2, so I was like, you know, we'll try it. I think if I can get in front of him, it's tough to pass, and I might be able to hang on. So I pitted, babied it as much as I could. I was like 4 seconds off their lap times, and sure enough, I guess it paid off. And what's the old saying? Sometimes it's better to be lucky than good.
Yeah. And you know what? It worked for you tonight, and you didn't make a single mistake in that last run. I mean, there were times throughout the night you were showing the speed you had, and then as the tires wore off, it seemed like more mistakes were coming out of you. I think a Moss corner, I think one time over in turn 3, I believe you had a mistake over there. Those kept happening, but those 22 laps, I mean, you didn't make a big enough mistake, we'll call it.
Yeah, it was whatever they changed in the update. A couple of us were talking about it tonight. It made this thing junk. Reader and I ran an official together. I guess now it'd be last Monday or Tuesday, whatever it was, and we both said it. It handled way better in that official than whatever they did here. This was my thing for the night. Was we're on a 74-degree track and it's super cold, but it feels like I'm on 173 or 74. Like it was just ice, and there was times I was maybe quarter throttle and just it would heat the tires up and around you'd go, or you'd break loose at the spot you didn't think you would, and it made it tough. I didn't think I'd be able to do it. I was looking at the laps. I'm like, all right, well, there's 10 to go. I won't be able to hang on. Then we hit 5. I'm like, oh, there's no way I hang on. Then we took the white, and I'm like, oh, it's going to get good now. And like you said, didn't make a big enough mistake, I guess, and it was good enough to hang on.
Yeah, and I was thinking of the 3 truck races that I've seen at Canadian Tire where, obviously Chase spins out Ty Dillon. Kaz Gralla gets spun out by Austin Cindric, and then obviously the incident with John Hunter Nemechek, and I was waiting on those, and Cole Custer. Were you worried about anything like that happening here?
Oh, I definitely had them playing in the back of my head. I was waiting for it, but then again, I kind of expected it. I definitely kind of gave Dustin a little, I guess you could call it a cheap shot, getting up towards the hairpin one time. I kind of dove it in last minute and forced the issue, and he gave me room, and we ended up racing clean, and then I got tight down the at the end of the back. But we're racers. I think I would have been disappointed if he didn't go for it and kind of just let me have it for say. But no, he's probably one of the best, if not the best we have in the league right now. Just respectful and clean, and haven't really had any issues with him. So like I said, I would have expected it, but it wouldn't have been I guess you could say too aggressive. It's where it's like, oh well, that was uncalled for. So if it was going to come, I would have been prepared, and like I said, fully expected it, and would have been okay with it from him for sure.
Well, great job tonight, Josh. Keep celebrating with those burnouts and stuff, and congrats on your 5th win of the season, according to the stats and stuff I saw earlier. And moving on into the second round, you don't have to worry about Bristol now. And congrats on that. Shout out to whoever you like to.
Yeah, it's definitely going to help. I think there was 6 chase guys here tonight. I know a couple weren't feeling good or were busy and whatnot. But I think pretty much if you show up tonight, you're almost guaranteed to the round of 8. So I mean, I knew win or not, I would have been good, but it's definitely going to help. I was talking to Alex again, my teammate, and I said, well, we got to do something. He's got 2 stage points or playoff points now for the next round, and we're sitting at our same total that we started the chase with. So something's got to happen. So that's kind of why I did the strategy call. But thanks to you for helping us out here with the broadcast. Gives me something to go back and watch, and when it's a good night like tonight, it makes it even better to go back and watch. So definitely looking forward to that. And like I said, thank you. Thanks guys that keep showing up. Makes it worth putting this on week in and week out, and doing all the points and all the admin nonsense that goes on behind the scenes. And hopefully we'll get ready for, I guess, the 2022 season, start getting stuff figured out for that, and we'll see what the rest of this season brings us.
Absolutely, man. Well, congratulations on the win. Go celebrate, and we will talk here next week.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
No problem. That is Josh Kahn over the winner tonight here at Canadian Tire Motorsports Park, getting himself a road win in a strategic move here tonight that ended up helping him out a very large amount. Let me get the second place finisher up here, and that's Kleba, who I'm sure has got a lot of disappointment in him, unfortunately, there. As you and I both said, we didn't feel like he might have the strategy here, the right one to win this race, but he somehow ran 22 flawless laps and was able to hold you off. I think Dustin might have walked away here. So we'll come back and let me go get the third place guy.
Oh, no.
Oh, he's here. He's here. He's here. All right, I got him. I heard him the second time. You there, bud? Let me see if it. There we go. You there?
Gotcha.
All
Sorry,
right.
I was mute.
You're all good.
Yeah, it was a good race, but like you said, a little disappointed in the result, but um, yeah, it was a good race. Disappointed, exciting at the same time. So hopefully the fans out there enjoyed it. But yeah, Josh just got me there on strategy. I was really banking on his tires falling off there at the end, but I was just faster than him in the wrong spots. You know, the tight
Hmm.
keyhole or bus stop or whatever that corner is. I could
Moss
get him
Corner?
there every time. Yeah, yeah, right. I could get him there every time, but there's just, I mean, really nowhere to go. So, not without moving the guy. And I mean, Josh and I have raced so good together so far. I wasn't about to just end his night after, like you said, race 22 flawless laps in front of me. So, yeah, I guess we'll take second and go on to Bristol, where I can maybe wreck him there.
Well, that's funny you say that because I asked him the same question, and you kind of answered it already. You know, I thought of the three Truck Series races that have come to my mind here that have come to last lap passes, and it wasn't because of passing; it was more wrecking. And I was like, I wonder if Dustin's going to try this move or not. I mean, you think of Chase and Dillon, you think of I brought up a second ago Cindric and Kaz Gralla, and then the John Hunter Cole Custer deal. It's like I wonder if Dustin has this in his mind, maybe to do something.
Yeah, I mean, if I was going to, now would be the time because it's not like he's gonna run me down the front stretch and tackle me like Cole did. But yeah, I mean, you say those guys and those races, and honestly, I lost so much respect for those guys when they did that.
Hmm.
So I'm not about to do that. I'm willing to pass these guys clean if I can, and we got I don't even know how many more races left, but I just want to make sure that I'm showing the respect that I expect to get back.
Hey, and nothing wrong with that. I can respect that answer there. And to answer your question, I think you're down to 5 to go or something like that. But either way, Bristol next week or next race. And great job tonight. Shout out to whoever you like to, bro.
Yeah, just shout out to my family that watches every single week. Shout out to Cody, my teammate. He had a very solid fourth. I know he didn't even really have much practice, so him showing up and finishing fourth is a great job. Shout out to Alex. I told you at the stage break that he was gonna be there, and that's exactly where he was. I think the three of us we're so tight on road courses, so I'm finally I'm ready for these to be over so I can stop finishing second
Nice.
and go on to something else. So good job to everyone else in the league tonight, and thanks to you, man, for broadcasting and bringing it to all the viewers.
No problem, man. We'll keep working together here, and great race tonight. We'll go attack the world's fastest half mile.
All right, sounds great.
All right, thanks, man. Dustin Kleba finishing in the second position as we bring up Alex here, the gentleman who I thought might give these guys a run for the money tonight, and he sure did. After he got up there and got past a couple of trucks, you made plenty of moves tonight, Alex, and kept it fairly clean. I mean, a couple little mistakes where the truck got out from under you, but you definitely persevered and almost had the shot at the end.
Yeah, thank you. Just trying to be there at the end, like you said, and just trying to keep the truck as clean as possible, and just try to keep the heat out of the tires. The track temp was only 73, but it sure did feel like it was 150.
That's what I've been hearing a lot of. Now, you mentioned keeping the heat out of the tires. Were we seeing a lot of that of you guys at the front? Because I noticed at times you guys were right on each other, and then you would spread out, and then it would come back together like a rubber band. Was that more you saving tire a little bit with the heat?
Yeah, I think it was, and then also sometimes you, especially down towards the big bend part of the track, it was really easy to spin the tires there, so you get some heat build up, and you have to take a few laps to cool them back down, and then you eventually be able to catch everybody back up.
And you definitely did that tonight, man. Very impressive run. I know Dustin was worried about you tonight, but it was the wrong person to worry about, I think, when it was all over with. But still a great third-place run for you. And another top three as you go to Bristol next week. Shout-outs to whoever you like to, man.
Yeah, we definitely needing a good finish here after last week, and just like to thank everybody over at NORA for putting this on. Thank Josh for what all he does, and then just thank everybody for showing up. I know the road courses ain't really that popular, but it's always good to have a nice field out.
When you have a finish like that, they definitely can become popular. So great job tonight, Alex, and we'll see you in the next race.
All right, we'll see you. Thank
Absolutely. You. That is Alex Cummings with a third-place finish here this evening, so congrats to him and his team there for finishing in the third position. All right. We made it through Canadian Tire. This was the one race I was worried about, and we made it through it. So I'm going to go do some prep and stuff and get used to these guys and get to know them a little bit here, so that next week at Bristol we'll really put on a good show at the half mile there. But appreciate Josh for reaching out and communicating with me and making this all come together here, and I was able to help them out, and this looks like a fun series to be a part of, so hopefully we can get some turnouts and get this all worked out, and I'll do whatever I can to help. So appreciate everybody for being a part of the broadcast, though. Appreciate iRacing for, of course, allowing us to platform as always, and appreciate the best people in the world, the viewers, because you guys make this fun for me and get me through these races and stuff, especially when, like, right before the first broadcast tonight I had, my back just starts flaring up, like the nerve or something, the sciatic nerve in my back just starts flaring up in my lower back area, and I'm like, oh, that doesn't feel good. So I made it through. So that's what's called being tough, right? Sometimes broadcasters got to be tough. So with that said, enjoy the rest of your Monday evening. I'll be back tomorrow night for the LSRL race from the virtual Bristol Motor Speedway. So we'll start Bristol tomorrow night. That should be a lot of fun. Can't wait for that. So always remember, this isn't just a game. It's iRacing. See ya!